Hello, my good friends, and welcome to my podcast. This is episode number 10, titled How I Arrived into the Real Estate Business. Remember to subscribe so these episodes will come directly to you. And leave your comments and ask your questions. And I would like for you to meet the two new agents here at Fisher Realtors team at jfisherrealtors.com. That would be Tamara Thomas and Don Alcorn. Now, at the end of episode number 9, you may remember that I had taken a job working at the Diamond Janitorial Service at night. And sometimes even in the early mornings prior to coming to work at the barbershop. It was very challenging and difficult of building a new business. But nevertheless, it was working. However slow, it was working. The plan was working, and I was developing into a top-notch barber, being able to cut better and even faster. Now, my fiance and I had known each other for many years. As a matter of fact, our families, both of our families attended the same church, the Providence Missionary Baptist Church there on South 12th Street. Her family actually lived across the street at 262 South 12th Street. But I know I left you talking about the power of the woman. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever had a feeling moving inside of your body that caused you to be anxious? Cause you to be excited? You didn't really know what it was unless it was a woman. And then I never had that feeling before, but I knew exactly what was going on a little later. Now I tell you, I didn't know a whole lot about love at this age, but I knew something was happening. And I knew it was positive. It was something that was making my body move inside. The power we are talking about, and it was love. And I don't know about you, but if you ever are able to get the right woman, the woman who motivates you, the woman who you are compatible with, the woman who you are equally yoked with, I tell you, she will complete you. And something will happen that it will cause you to be able to rise to levels unbelievable. And I'm talking about in all areas, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. It will all happen. As a matter of fact, my young brother in Christ, Stephen Shaw, he wrote a book, a poetry regarding love. And in his book, he writes to his dear wife, Sylvia, how can I tell you I love you? How can I tell you I care? And how can I prove that I need you? As for you, I will always be there. I tell you, brothers and sisters, I don't know about you, but that is the power of love. That is the power of the woman. Now, let me share a bit about this woman. She was born Bernie Dean Harris, June the 23rd, 1946, to the proud parents of Charlie and Helen Harris. She was one of 7 children. Her brother Freddie was the oldest by 1 year. And then Bernie was only 1 minute older than her twin sister Irma. And I must tell you also that at this time, before I forget, that their mother, Mrs. Helen Harris, was very attractive. And you have heard that old saying that the fruit does not fall that far from the tree. So you can imagine that all of these girls, they were fine. And the boys were good looking. So as we move forward, you could see that Bernie, she would become my wife. And her brother Freddie, her brother Garland, and her brother Kenny, they would become my brothers. And Irma and Joanne and little Helen, they would become my sisters. You see, Joanne, she was the 4th born. And she was followed by Garland. And then by little Helen. We called her little Helen because she was named after her mother, Helen Harris, which made her a junior. And then to round out the 7th child, that would be the baby boy, Kenny. So you could just imagine, you see, I fit directly into that family. And Bernie, she fit directly into mine. But I must share with you something else. And that would be the dynamic trio. And you may ask, well, who would that be? Who would be the dynamic trio? Now, let me tell you about the dynamic trio. That would be Sam Van Hook, who grew up on 6th and Ripley, and Stan the Man Alexander. He grew up on South 35th Street. Sam Van Hook, he was dating Irma, and Stan the Man, he was dating Joanne. I want you to just imagine that when we got together at this little shotgun house at 262 South 12th Street, all of us, and sometimes even their maternal grandmother, which would be Sister Nunzi Frazier, all of us in this house, you could just imagine there will be a whole lot of shaking going on in that little house. House of love and understanding, and we all got along. But I must get back and focus in on getting married and being able to keep building up this business. And as I mentioned before, that the business was doing well. The business was growing, and we were on target. And now we're starting to look for an apartment. There was a building being built, a 6-unit apartment building being built on right off of Cutting, South 16th and Cutting. As a matter of fact, it was 512 South 16th Street. And I would go by this building construction every time I got the opportunity. I would leave work to go by to see if I could run into the builder. And I would ask for an application. But at that time, I didn't have any credit. I hadn't worked long enough to have any credit, and they wanted an application with credit. So I would go by, and I would beg the builder. His name was Mr. Leroy Smith. And I would go by there. I was very persistent and begging him to take a chance on me and my wife-to-be. And finally, through persistence, Mr. Leroy Smith decided that he would take a chance on me. So we would be able to get this after we would get married. Later on, I found out that this man, Mr. Leroy Smith, was the biological father of my sister in Christ, Yolanda Smith, we call her Yo-Yo. Brothers and sisters, I want to tell you that we never know where the blessings will come from. And like, as I mentioned before, that when it's meant to happen, God will make a way for you. He'll put people in your lives. And this man took a chance on me. Now, the next episode, which will be 11, you need to be with me because I promise you, I will get married in episode number 11. Thanks for being with me on episode number 10. Look forward to being with you on episode number 11. Thank you, and goodbye.